They say a phone call is just a conversation. But when the president of France picks up that phone and dials Abuja, history has shown us that by the time he hangs up, Nigerian fighter jets are already in the air. We have seen it before, and now it has happened again. Except this time, no jets were scrambled. This time, what came out of that phone call was something far more permanent. A military cooperation agreement between Nigeria and France. No national broadcast. No parliamentary debate. No public consultation. Just a phone call, a private meeting with governors, and a done deal. And if you are not deeply concerned about what just happened, then you have not been paying attention to what France has been building across this continent. Stay with me, because by the time we are done today, you are going to see that this phone call was not random, this deal was not sudden, and Nigeria was not the first stop. This is a calculated continental strategy, and your country just became the latest piece on the board. But before we go further, if you are watching this channel for the first time and you want analysis that cuts through the noise, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on the notification bell. This is Global Headlines, and we go deep here. Now let us get into it. Let me give you the timeline first, because timing never lies. On Friday, March 21st, 2026, President Tinubu returned from London, where he signed a deportation agreement with the British government and a £746 million port deal with over £236 million going directly to British companies. The ink was barely dry when, on Saturday, March 22nd, Emmanuel Macron called. And by Sunday, Tinubu was standing in front of APC governors at his private Lagos residence, announcing a military cooperation deal with France covering equipment and specialized training for Nigerian security forces. The word he used to describe his approach. Frantic. His words, not mine. The president of the most populous nation in Africa described himself as making frantic efforts to contact other nations for weapons and training. Now connect that to this. On March 16th, just 6 days before that announcement, coordinated bombings hit the northeastern capital of Nigeria. At least 23 people were killed. A market, a post office, the entrance to a teaching hospital. And the Global Terrorism Index released that same week confirmed that Nigeria recorded the largest increase in terrorism deaths of any country on earth in 2025. A 46% rise to 750 fatalities. So when Macron called, he was not calling a president negotiating from strength. He was calling a president in a corner, desperate for solutions, and France handed him one, on its own terms. And here is what makes this even more alarming. This is not France being generous. This is France repositioning. Over the past 3 years, France has been expelled from Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, Chad, Senegal, and Ivory Coast. 6 countries. 3 years. The most dramatic collapse of foreign military presence on the African continent in modern history. France did not retreat.
France pivoted.
It moved toward Anglophone Africa, countries it never colonized, where the resentment is lower and the doors are still open. France appointed a prominent Nigerian billionaire to lead the Africa-France Impact Coalition. France signed a defense treaty with Kenya granting French soldiers diplomatic immunity on Kenyan soil. 800 French military personnel arrived at a Kenyan coastal port on 3 warships. And now France has a military cooperation commitment from Nigeria, the giant of West Africa, locked in through a single phone call. Think about what that means. The same week all of this was happening, the European Union's top foreign policy official was in Abuja signing a €290 million investment package with Nigeria, and then flew straight to Accra to sign the first ever formal EU defense partnership with Ghana. 1 EU official, 2 African capitals, back to back, and a French phone call in between. 4 deals. For days, 2 African countries, 3 Western powers. And all of this happening in the same week that the president of Brazil stood before African and Latin American heads of state in Bogota and said, "They want to colonize us again." He said the powerful nations want to own the critical minerals and rare earth that developing countries possess. He could see it from South America. Civil society across the Sahel can see it. So the question I want you to sit with today is this: If the president of Brazil can see it from across the ocean, how can the leaders sitting in Abuja and Accra not see it? The answer, I believe, is that they already do. They see it clearly. They just benefit from pretending they do not. And here is the most important contrast of all. Burkina Faso, the country that said no, the country that expelled foreign forces, took back its mines, and built a mutual defense confederation with Mali and Niger, recorded the largest decrease in terrorism deaths of any country on earth in 2025. A 45% drop. Meanwhile, Nigeria, which is signing deals with the West, recorded the largest increase. You do not need a PhD to read those numbers. The evidence is sitting right in front of us.so. I want to hear from you directly. Do you believe this France-Nigeria military deal will actually reduce insecurity in Nigeria? Or do you think Macron is simply planting a new flag in Abuja after being thrown out of everywhere else? Drop your answer in the comments right now. I will be reading every single one. And if someone in your circle needs to see this analysis, share this video with them. They need to see the full picture. If you found value in today's breakdown, smash that like button. Subscribe if you have not. Turn on the notification bell because the next episode is going to connect dots that will shake the table. This is Global Headlines, and until next time, stay aware, stay sharp, and never stop asking questions.